Hello, everyone. Jane A here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, what day. Hi.
Hey, is this the moment where we say that, guys, we figured out the sound finally?
We think we did. We
Because
think we did.
I couldn't hear the intro then. So that's
Okay.
good.
Oh, is that good? Okay. And
Yes.
usually you can. That's why there's a double.
Yeah.
We're just two middle-aged moms. Are we middle-aged? Let's talk about that. I wanted to know if we are middle-aged. Is that 40?
You're not. You're not yet.
But I'm
I'm
darn close if
distracted.
you are.
I'm distracted by how pretty you are today.
You're so sweet.
I'm gonna
Merci.
I'm gonna up my game before I come see you.
You're gonna have to. Middle age. Middle age. Oh,
Um,
okay. It's defined being between the ages of 40 and 60. That's
yeah,
middle aged. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
I like it. Okay, so not middle aged yet.
You are
You
not.
or I. You or I. You know what I mean? I feel like middle age is 45. I'm gonna go with
Okay.
45. We're middle-aged women.
We
Um
are, yeah. When it
uh
comes to technology, though, we are next level. And our documentary is pushing us out of our comfort zone for sure when it comes to technology.
okay, let's talk
And
about our documentary.
I was having a conversation with our producer, and I'm like, pretend that I'm 85 when you're explaining to me. Like he's like sending me screenshots. I'm like, and where would I go to find like he's like, use this. I'm like, okay, he sent me a link, but I'm like, but now what? How do I find this thing?
Okay, I am so happy because I mean, I've been working with Paul more closely in that sense than you, and
Yeah.
that's exactly how I work with Paul. And now he'll see that it's not just me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I feel, and we're so honest with how we are. We're like, I don't know, Paul. Like he sends us a picture of like a brush, and we're like, and where would we plug that? And then he's like, in your computer, and then we're like, and then what? What does it do? Like,
He,
oh, ben.
he came over and he was like, do you have that cord? I'm like, I just like pull out, like, do you have like a drawer of random cords? I do. I just like, here you go. Would you like to just sift through this drawer?
I definitely have a drawer of cords. I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. And it's not our fault. It's the industry's fault. Why is there so many cords for charge my earphones, to charge the thing that is plugged in my computer? I have like a extra thing that comes out of the computer. Like I actually get mad. I am triggered by the amount of cords that one needs to function their technology. So I'm wearing these big ass earphones right now because my AirPods were dead. Didn't even
you
know they could die.
you should have seen how magic. Yeah, they don't just magically stay perfect forever.
I mean, why not? Like I'm not you am I using am I using batteries when I'm
Yes.
using them?
Yes. Oh my god.
I can't. I can't.
So here, look, we've got our things.
I know. Okay, so you're bringing them today. I'm excited.
Yes, I can't forget. And I have to show you a little tutorial.
Oh, okay. I'm excited about this. We're kind of slowly starting today, so I can't wait to share with you later on, my friend. Okay, so today Alicia was like, "What are we talking about?" And I'm like, "I'm just going to attack you with topics of things that were in my head." I feel like I love Wednesday so much. Jeff was, because this is our recording day, and Jeff was like, "Have fun." I'm like, "Of course I'll have fun. This is the best morning ever." I just sit and talk with Alicia about all the things, and we laugh. I actually absolutely adore recording podcasts. It's
So
so
do I.
easy.
It's one of my favorites too. I'm not gonna lie. I will feel a lot better when I can't like hear the three humans behind me on their devices and like I'm on edge. Are they gonna come in?
Okay. I mean, don't be. If they come in, we say hi. It's that simple. Okay. We need to talk about Cat and Nat's podcast.
I told you were gonna love it.
Okay. There's so much to say because so I did listen to the two that you said, but there's really three that were juicy. So we need to talk about a few things they said. And then I went back before I had like stopped walking, right? So no more listening to podcasts. And so I went back, I started walking again. So went back to December podcasts of them. I really enjoyed like, and I feel like they've like upped their game again. Like there was like a little bit of moment where it's like very repetitive about COVID, which is fine, you guys. Like that's the life they were living. Like at the end of the day, like sometimes there's just not much to talk about. And they're kind of the same as us where they just show up and talk about pretty much anything, their work, right? Anyways, at least we have the weight loss topic that we can always talk about. But the people do love when we just talk about talking. Anyways, so I went back. Did you listen to when they had the strippers on the podcast?
Was it Romeo? Was it just one of them?
Romeo, Hassan,
I don't know if I listened to that one.
Lexi was there. They just like asked everyone what made them happy, like if they were truly happy. Anyways, I just really enjoyed all of the things. And I thought, you know what? This could be a fun podcast for our people talking about what they talk. So it's not really about us talking about it, but kind of, you know what I mean? Okay, ready?
Okay.
First topic.
I don't know what you're setting. Oh,
just them being, would we ever do a podcast while we're intoxicated? It's just too much. Them in their room and then them talking about very sexual things with their husbands.
Very sexual things. And actually, if you might not have picked up on it, but on the next podcast, they're like, no, we cut that out of the podcast. We didn't say that on the podcast. That was a conversation between you and I. And I'm like walking and listening. I'm like, oh no, you said that on the podcast.
I don't think they listen like to their own podcast.
Yeah, no, I was like, I think I'm hard to like shock, let's say.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh my God, did she just talk about her husband ejaculating on her face?
On her face. It's when Cat said, if cum ends up on my face, it's a mistake. Well, I laughed. When I was walking, I was laughing. I'm like, I'll bet, they are funny. And Nat, they're so for me, Cat is very she makes Nat talk. Don't you find?
Yes.
So like Cat is just like, oh really? Like I just, and Nat is saying these ridiculous like things,
incriminating things.
Yes, and Nat is just chill. Cat, sorry, it's just chill. She's just like picking. Tell us more. It's just. So when she said that it was too much, I was like, well, this is hilarious. I really love that they are, I don't know, I feel like they're happy again. I feel like basically this podcast is about Cat and Nat, but I feel like they're happy again. I feel like they're like connecting again with the world. I felt like they were feeling really lost by not being able to be out there and to travel and whatever. I just like, I'm really enjoying their podcast right now and how they're showing up.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Next thing they said that I was like, we need to talk about this was that I was like, oh, this is a good conversation. Foreplay all day. Did you?
Yes. Yes.
Did you pick up on that?
Waiting for a good time to have this conversation with Neil.
Okay. So the other day I actually like just threw that in the kitchen with Jeff. I was like, foreplay all day, buddy. Foreplay all day. Because, and he's like, he freaking hates anything that is like a saying.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, it was, I'm like, you can't be a dick all day and then think that by nighttime, I want to have sex with you. And I was like, when she said foreplay all day for women, I was like, yes, exactly. And then she said something, it's either by the end of the day, I'm like, go fuck yourself or let's go fuck. Oh my God, I laughed. I was like, they are funny. And I'm like, at the end of the day, for real, that's how women feel. It's either like, oh, you were so good to me today. Like, I want you now, or you go away.
Like as my day progresses and I walk in and I see the friggin' bed made with the sheet not actually pulled. No. Then I walk downstairs and I see his fucking shoes in the middle of the floor. Like all of these things are adding up.
Foreplay is so different for women and men, but for it was just when she said that, because I think it was out of their community, whatever their thing. that one of the professors said that about men and women and whatever, and foreplay all day. I was like, man, that's good. Like that's definitely something that men should listen to, and that it's basically all day. Get yourself ready for a successful evening, all day. It takes all day.
I'm more of like an afternoon sex person versus an evening though.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, everyone's just so tired when it's like nighttime.
Absolutely, Alicia.
And so you just put
I'm
on a
so proud of
show,
you.
just put on a show and you're good.
I've heard you say this before, and I feel like often there's alcohol involved. It's when you're on vacation. You're like, we just put the kids. We're at the beach. Let's be real. There's been some times where there's alcohol involved during the
Oh,
day.
absolutely. But it's
Mm,
not like only then. It's
no,
like
no, no.
that's our
That's
move.
that's our move. I like it. Okay, perfect. And so, anyways, them saying that, I was like, okay, we need to bring this to the podcast so that our women can use this.
Yes. So basically what they were saying, guys, is that like if you want to have sex with your wife, you need to be nice to her and do things not like nice to her, but like think about it as a date.
Just don't be a dick. Don't be a
Yes.
dick.
Don't be a dick. Put your shoes away. Put the garbage in the right garbage. Make the bed properly. Wipe the surfaces when you clean the kitchen.
I mean, that obviously is what it looks like for you in your in your
What does it look like for you? Because I'm more Jeff. Like
Okay, see, that's probably foreplay for Jeff,
it
me putting
is.
my things away. For me, it's just nice. For me, it's more like patience. Uh, see, Jeff, Neil needs you to be more patient. I need Jeff to be more patient with me. Patience and patience.
I
Patience and patience. That's
I
all I
really
need from
think
you.
I really feel like Jeff's love language though a little bit is like being like snarky. Like, do you know what I mean? He like it's like part of when he gets really comfortable with people, he does that.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed this the other day when I was at your house. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm getting so comfortable with Jeff that you and I were like tag team making fun of him together."
Yes.
And I was like, "I love this. I love where we're at with this." Like, and he likes that
Absolutely.
banter.
Oh, he definitely does. And I think he like married the right person
Yeah.
to do this. Oh, let's go back to that conversation where we chatted about if Jeff would copy paste me because I said I would copy paste him, right?
Yeah.
So I asked him, guys. I asked him, I said, so today on our podcast, we were talking about things, and I don't tell him what we talk about. He definitely does not listen to our podcast. His podcast that he listens to, oh my God, it's like The Journal, something like that. So it's like today, January 16th, we will be talking about how the stocks had blah, 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 blah,
Ooh.
and this business in Australia has blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oof. And it's like he's like, I don't think this interests you. So he like finds different things that maybe would interest me. There was one about anx- uh oh that the burnouts related to working and how people are treating their employees, and like that interests me, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But like stuff with business and stocks, comprend rien. Anyways, so I asked him, I said, so today I said I would copy paste you, my love. I said if I were to start over, really, I would just take the things that are annoying and I would just copy paste you. It's too hard to start over. And then he's like, I'm like, would you copy paste me? And he's like, I think I would. This is what he said. He said, copy, paste, delete, 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 replace, replace. And then I laughed because he was using those words. And then I'm like, what would you replace? He's like, I don't know, maybe like a full C cup. I'm like, that is what you would replace. Oh my goodness. He's funny with that. He does not let that one go. I
No.
mean, he does not let that one go. If he has one chance to say, talk about my breasts and how he would definitely love that they are bigger, he does take that opportunity to say
Takes
it.
full advantage of that.
And then I think that people would be like, oh my God, I'd be so hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I am a confident woman.
Yes.
Like, actually bringing back to Cat and Nat and their podcast, they were talking about porn and they were talking about with their strippers. Okay, just that. We could even talk about that. I'm like, okay, I want to go on tour with you. I think we should go on tour. I think we would bring up a storm of a show. I think we're super fun. I think we
Yes,
could do
please.
what they do.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
I'm yes. Okay. So I think we could do what they do. I think that, I think we have what it takes. But I'm like just the thought of strippers. We never bring strippers, but then I wanted to have that conversation with you. Why not? Why yes? Why, like, what are your thoughts about them having strippers? Why do you think it's a part of their marketing and part of their show? And who would we bring? What would we do?
It's so them to have strippers, and I feel like you and I have different opinions on on strippers. Um,
Tell
I-
me.
I've been to many female strip joints in my day. I think women are beautiful. I can go to a female strip joint, no problem. Everything's great. But men makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I've never done it either, though. But the thought of it, like I remember you going, there was like a firefighter thing or something. Not that they were strippers, but were they stripping?
They were definitely that was their marketing for that evening.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm just like seeing photos made me like cringe and feel uncomfortable. And you're like, nope, we're going. You don't know what it's like. You're gonna experience it. We're gonna go to Magic Mike in Vegas, and you're gonna like it.
Oh, absolutely. And I even said I would go alone. I would go alone, front
I
seat.
need to preface this before we commit to this. If
Okay.
you ever did anything that made me get on stage because it's my birthday, I would break up with you. Like it would be over.
Okay, can we pretend it's my birthday?
Yes, 100%. No problem.
For real? For real? This is not fake, and
Absolutely.
you're like, hopefully she does it in the back. It's like,
Nope.
I don't want a surprise party, but I want a surprise party.
Yeah.
No? Okay, perfect. So okay, so perfect.
Okay.
If that's like really how you feel, Alicia, I'll
Absolutely. Don't even sing me happy birthday, actually.
okay. Okay, perfect. I will wear the crown and as your kid is coming in, my kid is coming in. So
Hello.
that's interesting. Hello,
Is
humans.
your thing over? Okay, you guys can have some free time until our podcast is done, okay? Okay. Something not on the screen. Okay. Don't cut your finger off.
Oui, tes modèles, toi, tu les as déjà écrits dans ton cahier. Oh my goodness. Yeah, both of them. Your kid came in and my kid came in at this exact same time. Like I saw you turn and the door opened. Oh my goodness. Okay,
So back to strippers.
Okay, so if you really feel that way.
I really do.
Okay, so if you really feel this way, I really want to be on stage.
Okay, done.
Okay?
Okay.
So we make it happen. We pretend it's my birthday. We pretend that's why there's a bunch of girls there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm excited. Because I would be so jealous if you were the one that was on stage. Like, I'd be like, why is it not me?
Okay, so on our tour, I don't feel like we need strippers on our tour.
No, I don't think it goes with like what we do. And I think it would be so uncomfortable for you. I think what we need is our husbands.
You're
That's
really,
how it's different.
You're really pining for the husbands to come on tour with us. I'm gonna need some more convincing for that one.
I think they're a part of people's love for us. I mean, let us know, everyone. Comment, send us a DM. Would you want to see Jeff and Neil if we were ever on tour, or would you be sad if they're not there? Like, or would you be like, no, we don't need them. Well, like, we don't really know them. Like, how do you feel about Jeff and Neil? Because both their husbands, like Mark and Mark, don't have a play in what they do. But we definitely
know that one of the Marks has a huge penis. We know that.
Yes, we know that now. And that Cat has a very tiny vagina. And she says it still hurts if they haven't done it in a while.
You know,
oh, it's the best. And you know what I saw? I saw this meme of someone said, when I listen to podcasts, it's like eavesdropping on a conversation, but it's okay. And that's how I felt when I was listening to them. I'm like, this is like two best friends having a conversation and just the world is listening. Okay, wait. So,
okay. So who's in charge of our children?
See, I don't have to worry about that. You'll figure out yours. My mom's in charge of mine. You're gonna have to figure out, or we bring them.
Oh my God.
So you don't want to bring them, then you find a way. You find a way, girl. Hire some people. Melissa Burrow.
So yesterday, Neil said to me, he's like, can I be, Neil loves the fame, loves the spotlight.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think I could be the comedic relief in your documentary?
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, sure, buddy. So he wants to take footage.
Okay. I love it. I mean, Paul did mention that the boys should have a comedic part in the documentary.
Okay.
And then I'm like, can't promise anything for Jeff. It's touch and go. It's touch and go, everyone. So if we can have Neil, I am totally fine with it.
I think with Jeff, we just need like a bunch of scenes of him like giving you like the dirtiest looks or something, like no words. Do you know what I mean? Because like he doesn't say a
No words.
lot,
No, absolutely no words.
just
No.
looks.
Yeah, sure. We can definitely do that. Okay, so we were talking about strippers, and then wait. Oh shoot, there was
Tor,
a
the
tour
boys, the husbands, Cat and
porn,
Nat. Porn.
porn.
Wow.
That's where I was going.
Wow.
Okay, so they were talking about porn. And this is the conversation we're going to have here because, see, people could be like, oh, your husband often says that he would love for your breasts to be different. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I could not care less. Like, you know what I mean? And why is that? Is because I'm very confident in myself, in our relationship. I don't get jealous. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm not enough, you know, because I'm enough for me. Like, I'm enough for, you
I
know where I'm going with this.
love everything that you're saying right now. And it's because some people would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. Well, I look at my husband and think I wish some things were smaller and some things were bigger sometimes. And I'm sorry, that's human nature. It's just other people aren't saying it out loud.
Yeah.
And maybe other people aren't confident enough to be like, I'm enough as I am right now. And
Yeah.
Jeff obviously feels like you're enough as well. Just thinks a C cup would be a bonus.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that.
Yeah.
I know I'm enough. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's why I'm not even questioning it. And it's all with fun and playful
Yeah.
and just, we've been together for almost 20 years. Like clearly he can't be like, my wife's body is perfect after birthing 2 children. And like, I mean, it's just what it is, right? Anyways, so they were saying that they were having the conversation of women are often upset if they find out that their husband or their men watches porn. And so they were having this conversation with the strippers. And they
Okay.
were like, why? Like, that's like, why would women? And so one stripper said that he was in a relationship, hetero relationship, and that his girlfriend was very upset that he was watching porn and masturbating. And then Cat and Nat are like, what is happening? Like, why would that be a thing? But he's like, at the end of the day, it's all about her not feeling confident enough in our relationship. There's definitely issues there if you feel that way. Anyway, so trigger warning, but there could be issues there if you feel like you might feel like you're not enough for your spouse. I feel enough for Jeff no matter how I look. Does that make sense? And I know you feel the same with you and Neil.
Yeah.
No matter how you look, you know you are enough for Neil.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, but we've created that relationship with ourselves because we're enough for ourselves. We're
Yeah.
enough for what we want to do on this earth. So
And
I
that's where
think
it
that
starts, right?
I
It
was
has
going to
to
say
start.
that's where it starts. Yeah, I was going to say that exactly. So it was very interesting. And then they were talking about, they said like, so I think one of them is gay, and he was like, so for me, like in the gay community, masturbating is definitely normal and no one's jealous because the other person's watching whatever. So maybe it's more like in hetero relationships, but it was very interesting how they were talking about that. And they're like, I could not care less. And then he's like, if you're upset that I'm masturbating, you need to masturbate more, like whatever. And then they start to think, she asked them, this was too much. She asked them how long it takes to ejaculate with masturbation. And one guy's like 1 to 2 hours. She's like, what? So I was also shocked by this. The other guy's like, what are you guys doing? It takes me 10 minutes. Like, it was just hilarious. And then one guy's like, I need to set the mood. He's like,
Oh my God.
why are you putting on candles? And he's like, I need to find the right one. He's like,
Okay.
scrolling and I need to find the right one. And then they started to talk about that. It was hilarious, Alicia. He's like, so for some, I'm like, oh, I like big booty, so I need to start there. But then sometimes I don't like their face. Or I don't like the guy. I don't like his
Oh my
voice.
gosh.
It was so funny. And then Kat's like, oh my God, us women, it takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And well, we got this. Like, it's over. Like, there's no, and then she's like, why don't you use your imagination? She's like, I'm not a 12-year-old boy, you know. I've seen all the things. There's no more imagination. I need to see it in front of my eyes. Anyways, it was so funny. I just really enjoyed my walks lately. I'm like, wow, these are really entertaining. 25 minutes.
I think that
we could talk about this for 25 minutes.
I mean, I feel like most men are watching porn.
I completely agree.
Like,
I don't know.
And
Comment
our
below. Is this something that you feel like you get jealous or you don't like? Or it was very interesting. And then they're like, what if your wife watches porn? He's like, I would watch with her. Like, they're like, it's weird how men aren't taken aback or they don't take things personally as much as women. I mean, I'm not painting everyone with the same brush, but I do think that it's a majority that
yeah.
they take that personally, you know? I mean, if you're like, Neil, you could lose a few pounds. I mean, I'm sure he knows this, right? I'm sure you've told him this in a funny haha setting. He's not like, I'm not enough, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, she still loves me as I am, but the fact is I could have bigger breasts. I definitely could, you know?
It's also like a little bit of a cultural thing. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were British. The three men talking were British. And obviously I lived in England for 2 years. So I had that experience and my husband's British, but whatever. But they're more like matter of fact. Like they're just like, I have fat on my body. Like it's not like we're not like not talking about it. It's just like you see it with your eyes. So like, yes, I have fat on my body. It's interesting. And they're more like, I mean, you go to the beach and you see like breasts and they're just more like body acceptance almost. And like it's interesting the cultural difference there.
Okay. Do you think it's because social media is different or like, the American model-esque, like just how, like, you know what I mean? Like kind of like what we grew up watching Americans and like, you know what I mean? We grew up watching Heidi Klum and models and whatever. Do they have the same on social media? I'm sure they don't follow, they have a different, what's on their platform is different than ours. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I mean, yes, but like they still could have access to that. And I think it's like obviously like it's been years since I've lived there, but
Right.
like, okay, for example, their soap operas are like regular people. Like the people that are on their like soaps that you watch are not like super pretty, glam. They're like regular humans.
Okay.
So like just that is interesting, the cultural difference. Obviously there's a lot of European influence as well, and Europeans are more like, here's my breasts, who cares their breasts? You know what I mean? Whereas Americans are all like, it's all sexualized and like
Sexualized.
who has the
Okay.
nicest breasts and like it's height, like the whole like filtering and snitching and
Mm,
that's definitely more
mm.
North American.
Okay.
Anyway, it was just an interesting observation.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, so we were talking about being on, and I mean, our husband's just saying what it is. I mean, pretty sure when Jeff thinks about what his wife's breasts could look like, they do not look like what mine look like. You get what I mean? So for him, like, it's very obvious. Like, he wasn't like praying that his wife has the breast of a 12-year-old boy. Like, he wasn't like, hopefully those are the breasts that I'll get. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't think any husband would be like, I really like when women have no breast and they just have a nipple. Like no one, like a man is like, I like when there's something to grab. I don't blame him, right? I don't blame him. It's like yeah. And then they start to talk about like hall passes and like they're just, I love all of it. I love all of it. I like these conversations. I like to listen to them, and I'm just like I feel like they really say what they want to say, and they've really created their niche in like, I'm not gonna apologize for saying that this is what it is. I
They
really like it.
definitely don't care.
I know. I know.
Okay, so I have a few questions. What are we going to call this podcast?
Maybe the one about Cat and Nat. Do you think
Yeah.
the
If you
one
guys,
about strippers?
I would love if you guys could send us a DM. Let us know if you listen to Cat and Nat. Let us know if you think that their content is a little bit too crude. Do you enjoy it? Like, I'm interested. We probably will need to put a trigger warning on this podcast. Warning, these are the following things that we discussed in this podcast. But yeah, no, I like having a variety of things on my walk, actually. Like I like Cat and Nat because I can totally escape, you know?
Right. And it's like it's almost like they've created a podcast out of their life. See, we've created a podcast out of like giving advice, talking about weight loss, and our life definitely like slips in here and there, like in the beginning or whatever. But their whole 35 minutes is talking about what they're up to, where they are, what they're eating, what they're not eating. Like they're hilarious. I love that right now they're in Florida. They seem to be really enjoying themselves with their husbands. I love how I do relate to a lot of what they say. And then there's other things where I'm like, oh, I hear language. Do you feel that way too?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure people listen to our podcast and they hear language as well. And at the end of the day, what I mean by hearing language is like almost something that's not being said, but it's being said, you know? And by listening
Mhm.
over and over, you're like, I think that's what they're saying, or I think this is where they're going. But this is just them showing up for 30 minutes in their life. We don't really know them and we don't really,
No.
you know? But they seem like they had a good tour. And I mean, I obviously love that that's what they do. Like, I see us in them in different ways, and it's fun.
Their banter is amazing. Like, they just go back and like, there's not even a breath. Like, their banter is good. They've got that
Yes.
down pat, and you can't just make that up.
No, no, they definitely have something special. I
Yeah.
agree. All right. I feel like whew, poured my heart out, everyone.
What a great talk about porn, husbands, breasts, all the things.
Loving yourself.
Oh, I have a package.
Ooh, that's fun.
Can't remember what it is.
Vibrator. All right, everyone.
Okay,
Okay,
everyone.
everyone. Have a great day. Hopefully, you enjoyed this talk. It was a little bit different, but I mean, I wanted to attack Alicia with all the things today. Okay, have a good one. Bye.
Hi, guys.